Welcome back and return for part 3 of New Comics, bitches! Shit. Sorry. Okay. I gotta work on a new way to get out of frame. If I just had a webcam, I would move it, but this is built into the monitor, and this is a 20-inch monitor, so I'm not moving that thing. Anyway, okay, moving on. Captain America 618. Again, as we were introduced to in the previous issue, we have 3 separate, story arcs that are going on at once. You have one that's involving, Agent 13, Sharon Carter, and the Black Widow. They're in Russia. They're doing their thing. They're trying to find out, okay, who set up, who set James Buchanan Barnes up? Why did they want him out? Why did they want him in Russia so badly, in a gulag? And, who can they lean on in order to get leverage to get him out? Because he can't break out, and no one can break him out, because it would be very, very bad. I forget exactly what the penalty is. It's not like war, but it's, it's very bad repercussions for the superhuman community. So, you've got them doing their thing, and then of course you have, and that's completely different artist. Stefano Guadiano, and then you have Chris Samney, who is doing the kind of the third tier story, which is which is Steve Rogers investigating what the hell's going on with Henry Gyrich, and why and why he's involved, and essentially. And of course, this all leads into, of course, the main arc, which is that Bucky is still in the gulag. He's still fighting. He's still having his ass handed to him, and he's trying to. I mean, essentially, this is just survival. He's just holding out until either somebody can find something that can help him, or basically that's it. Because he doesn't have any other options, because he can't escape, because that's bad, because that would really screw up foreign relations. I guess that's pretty much the main thing here, and nobody can come save him. So he's got to do his time until they can find whatever, until Steve or Sharon or Natasha can find out whatever they need to get him the fuck out. So this is a big, like, post-Cold War spy issue, which is one of the reasons that it's so fucking cool, is that I love when they don't concentrate so much on the big action, the big widescreen action that, that Brubaker can do, but mostly chooses not to, because I think that he is more of an intimate storyteller, and so he likes to work with characters. Characters are cool to him. So anyway, that's just and I love spy stories in in this in the comic book medium, because if they're done realistically and they're done right, you have a slice of fried gold on your hands. Like Greg Rucka did with Queen and Country. Like I said, I've always I've actually because I follow Ed Brubaker on Twitter, and I think I've suggested to him more than once that he and Greg Rucka should get together like they did for A couple issues of Daredevil, and of course his run on his run on Gotham Central, which is a series that I'm currently reading and loving. But that they should get together and do a Winter Soldier series, something that focuses on the missions that he was on, because that's some serious spy shit, and that's just cool, to have two of the preeminent writers, in comicdom to work together on a project like that would be really cool. But one thing I am waiting on from Rucka is his take on the Punisher, which will be coming, I think, in July. So I'm really looking forward to that. Moving on, we got HELLRAISER, issue number 2. Very excited about, from what I read from issue 1. Very confused now with this issue. It definitely has the Barker flair. That's definitely going on, and that's one of the things that gets me really excited about this book, is that Clive Barker himself is handling some of the writing, or at least the plotting at the very least. So he's getting personally involved, and basically this kind of this group of people that may have existed in the HELLRAISER film universe, because again, this is really based on what the films did, and not what the Hellbound Heart, the book, did. Because I'm a huge fan of Clive Barker. I've read most of his books, and I love them for the most part. I didn't really care for Magica. But anyway, you've got these, you've got these 4 people that are trying to work together in order to grab these artifacts, that build, that kind of work with the Le Marchand configuration, or the Lament configuration, and it just, and they're using some kind of magic to do away with it, but it's a magic that is, that involves calling up things out of, perdition, if you will, so that they can be destroyed. So, I mean, it gets really fascinating, but it also is a little bit confusing. Because I'm not sure that these are, other than Kirsty, I'm not sure that there are other people that I've been introduced to in his world before. So, I don't know. But, fuck it. I'm still going to keep reading it, because it's still cool. This is, it's good stuff. It's not, again, it's not as good as the first issue. Mostly because we got a lot of POV of Pinhead, and we had very, very little of it, almost none of it in this issue. So, a little bit disappointing, but that's okay, because it's still a quality book. It's still Clive Barker, and still new stuff from him. So, all right, book of the week. For those of you who follow me on Twitter, which is my username is Donnelly92274 or 92274. It's 2 N's in Donnelly, 2 L's. Anyway, know that this was my book of the week, because I put it up there pretty early on, pretty much right after reading all of the books this week, and that is Secret Avengers number 13. Nick Spencer. What a find. I mean, what an absolute find this guy is. It's depressing to me, though, that he's not going to be on this book for very long. He's just basically doing interim work while I wait for what is more than likely the inevitable downfall of this book, which will be when Warren Ellis takes it over. that's not. I'm not going to worry about that right now, though. I'm just going to talk about this book. Um, this book is just. It's so awesome. It's actually gotten better in the last couple issues than what we saw from Brubaker. Well, sort of. Because there's stuff that Brubaker did that's just awesome, but now that Nick's on it, we're getting some more intimate detail. Now, obviously, this is a Fear Itself tie-in, as you can see from the cover, and it is really tied in to Fear Itself. It basically takes place during the events of issue 2 of Fear Itself, which is Blitzkrieg USA, where the Nazi machines are attacking. And you've got Beast basically is called upon by a member of the member of the House of Representatives, who is an older African American gentleman who's been has been a member of the House for quite some time. He fought, he's been fighting for civil rights for not only, for everybody, but, also in a big way for mutants. And he is dealing with Henry McCoy. He basically refuses to leave the Capitol building. He refuses to leave the House floor because he finally has the floor all to himself. It's kind of his mini filibuster, if you will, since there's only one guy there because everybody else evacuated because they're under attack. And what he is showing the world is that just by staying is an act of defiance, but, in the face of all of this evil. But he has a lot more up his sleeve. I can't even say anything about what happens because it's so awesome. It's just, Nick Spencer, who, again, Ian, thank you for Morning Glories, Comic Noob, for those of you who don't know his first name. You have something coming to you in the mail, by the way, because you won my contest, which is the contest of being cool and mentioning me the most in the people that follow me that I also follow. So, cheers. It probably won't get there for a couple weeks, though, but I think you'll like it. Anyway, obviously, I started reading Morning Glories because of Ian, and I love Morning Glories. I love Nick Spencer. And I loved this issue. I absolutely adored it. It may be one of the issues that ends up going down as one of the issues of the year. So, again, I'm really looking forward to how Spencer finishes out his run on this. I'm hoping he'll have the comic for, I don't know, I have to look it up on the net to see what number exactly Warren Ellis is going to sneak in and either do irreparable harm to this book like he did with Astonishing X-Men, or just continue making it pretty cool. We'll find out. And to a commenter that I had on my last one of my more recent bits where they talked about I think it was Avengers 13, and they were talking about continuity in the team books, and I'm going to if you're willing to stick around with me, I'm going to do another real just kind of quick segment on that, although you know me, it probably won't be very quick. But Secret Avengers Book of the Week, no doubt in my mind. And so, those of you who don't want to stick around, thanks for watching. Thumb it up, thumb it down, comment. You know what to do. You know the drill. So, those of you who are willing to stick around, please do. and we'll talk a little bit about continuity. See ya.